Hello everyone, this is Turin here, and welcome to another Total War Warhammer live BattleCast. In this game we're going to be playing Norsca, and we are indeed facing off against Bretonnia. So as far as our army composition goes, we're going to go with Big Daddy Throg. He does have armor piercing and anti-large, both of which are pretty good against Bretonnia and Cav, King Lewin, all that kind of good stuff. One thing you have to be really careful with Throg in this matchup is the peasant bows with fire can actually really wreck him. So you need to watch out. We got a sorcerer with metal, we got some AP in the front line in case he brings foot squires, and of course the brutes of the hound to kind of anchor everything. Maws of Savagery, two of the Norscan Ice Wolves, and the Norscan Ice Wolves are very good against peasant infantry. You can get him around the back, and even if he has like some men-at-arms or something defending, the Norscan Ice Wolves can really get in there and get down and dirty with their 42 weapon strength, I think. The one thing I'm kind of experimenting with this game is the Mammoth. The Mammoth intuitively seems a little bit kind of janky against Bretonnia because, Bretonnia has so many cheap halberds, they got missiles, they have these big flying lords that can dive them and then simply retreat. So there's a lot of vulnerabilities for the Mammoth, but I wanted to see if I could make it work and hopefully, get my money's worth. Because the Soul Crusher itself is very expensive, but, nonetheless, it does have that ward save ability, the Enrage. But I think the Enrage, what does it give? I think it gives 44% for 12 seconds. So 12 seconds is pretty insignificant. If that was 30 seconds, that would actually be something, really worth watching out for. But nonetheless, I think Throg is the way to go. Wolfric is probably not a bad choice either. You just need to keep him very heavily saturated with support. Like keeping him with the skin wolves and all that kind of good stuff would be fine. So I'm kind of expecting to see the Knights of the Lionhearted and all that kind of good stuff. The Knights of the Lionhearted trade pretty evenly with skin wolves, if I'm not mistaken. They have some pretty darn good stats. So let's go ahead and pull all these guys back. The one thing honestly I feel like going wider is better against Bretonnia, but maybe I'll prove myself wrong. We'll see. So in the front line, we're going to have the Brutes of the Hound in the center, just to kind of anchor it, because they're not going to break no matter what. So that's something that's nice is, they'll fight to the bitter end, and they'll trade pretty evenly with Battle Pilgrims. So let's also put Big Daddy Throg right here. We're going to get our Skin Wolf Goon Squad right there. So these guys are going to be running around, trying to intercept my opponent's Cav. The Soul Crusher can sit a little bit far back. And, I don't know, I've always been on the fence about whether I should get the War Shrine. Something I like about the War Shrine is it has the Bringer of Glory, so it can make, your other troops unbreakable, which is really solid. The Norscan, we got some standard Norscan Warhounds just to kind of pressure the flanks and be annoying, so we'll put them over there for now. Cool, so we got two, and let's make sure to get our Shaman Sorcerer right here. And yeah, I also, in getting this Mammoth, I wasn't able to afford a Skinwolf Werekin, which is arguably probably one of the best units on the roster. So cool, we can get the Norscan Ice Wolves, we can put them all in one big group here and just kind of run around in this big fluffy squad of love. So let's get these guys like this. These guys can kind of be in behind and support. And the Norscan Wolves here on the far side can be, this feels like wasted. So I need to be pressuring from different angles because he's probably going to have a big, nasty peasant line. So we do have a Metal Sorcerer, like I mentioned before. He's a pretty good pick. I mean, Final Transmutation is super competitive now. It's really good. And Plague of Rust isn't bad either. If I had regular Skin Wolves that didn't have the good AP of the Maws of Savagery, that Plague of Rust would be really game-changing for sure. Brutes of the Hound. Yeah, these guys they're ready to party. They got their axes out for corn. All right. Let's get rolling. So he's got a front line of Holy Wardens and Foot Squires. So people do bring Foot Squires. That's why you need to bring AP in the front line. Let's get these hounds running up and around the side, and we'll get that going there. So we got a little bit of fun business going on. He's got Grail Guardians actually. So Grail Guardians, they don't do fire. Yeah, they do just magic damage. So he's probably going to try and ramshackle my front line, which I'd be fine with because I think the Mammoth is going to be able to burn those guys down pretty efficiently. So he does see my Skin Wolves, not my Skin Wolves, but my Fluffs over here. So they have 95 speed compared to the 75 of these guys. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll bait him out and see if we can draw something. We'll put these guys right here and see if he's not paying attention. You never know. Cool, and we do have our Norscan Wolves on the far side, so I really need to kind of just go here and then let's get them up in here and good. Cool, so my opponent's coming in pretty aggressively actually with these guys. So let's get these guys coming in here. We're going to do a retreat here. We're going to do a pincer maneuver. So we're going to pull it back like so, and then we're going to come on. What are you guys doing? Oh man, we might be able to actually grab them right now. So we're gonna frostbite them. So you can see their speed's going to be slowed to 36, and that's one thing you need to be careful about against Norsca. They can really catch you out of position. So he's probably going to pull all his other cav over there right now to deal with that, which is going to probably open up a little something for us. So let's pull our Mammoth over there as well and see if we can get in and have the Mammoth help. We'll pull Throg because that's going to be the epicenter of the battle right there, it looks like. So he's getting a healing ability down. A lot of my Norscan Ice Wolves are probably going to take some work. Let's get these guys here and see if we can sneak in against the missiles. Great. So Throg's coming as well. This is probably a little bit of a risky thing to commit to, but the Mammoth is coming, and the Mammoth should be able to do some decent work against these Grail Guardians. But man, my opponent is getting there first. So maybe we do a little bit of a retreat here and just pull him out of position and get ready to overcast that those goodies. But you know what? I don't know if I'm going to escape, so we're just going to get the Mammoth kind of charging into some of these guys, and Throg can get in there as well. So it looks like he's actually retreating. The Grail Guardians are wavering, so that's really nice. So these Hounds, we want to push them through, and let's actually go up and around and see if we can get on some of those missiles. We do have this big juicy cast, so we're going to wait for another blob to fight. And it looks like Soul Crusher is kind of getting trapped a little bit, but the Norsca Ice Wolves are going to be very good here. So we're going to pull Soul Crusher back. It's taking a lot of peasant fire, and we want it to really, you know, get its money's worth later in the battle. So Throg, oh man, I was not paying attention to Throg. That is not good. So Throg actually got surrounded a little bit. So we're going to pull our Norscan Wolves and everyone and have them come help out here. And yeah, that should be fine. And Soul Crusher, we can bring it up and around here. Cool. So we did get into the missiles right here, which is going to be really backbreaking for my opponent for sure. And with the Frostbite and everything, we should be able to kind of drag some of these guys down. So let's go ahead and push in here. And these guys can go ahead and chase some of these Grail Guardians off, because 15 Grail Guardians is still quite a bit. So let's just path the Mammoth through, see if it can push through some of those spears. And we did compromise the front line in several areas, actually. Cool. So Throg is he's engaged here. Let's go ahead and cast Fight or Die. And we were able to push a lot of these guys back. So the Hounds getting into those peasant missiles was really solid. And I definitely should have been using Lore Metal like more throughout the game, but let's cast it. Oh damn it, the Fey Enchantress has magic resistance. I forgot about that. So I should have just used it on some of these other units here. But you can see the Mammoth in here is, you know, causing some havoc. So we're going to get it into the back here, and hopefully it can do its thing. And I could Plague of Rust, but really I don't think there's any point right now. So our Hounds were able to chase those guys off, so let's get these Hounds up. Let's actually just have them go after these Peasant Bowmen. But man, that's some big DPS, and you can see the Soul Crusher. Oh yeah, get into those peasants, massacre them. So we have a lot of good DPS right here for sure. If there's anything low, I'll go ahead and just give these guys Unbreakable, I guess. They're fighting. They're still fighting, yeah. And the Grail Reliquary is incredibly low. We want to kill that while we can. The Fey Enchantress actually took quite a bit of damage from that, even though she has good magic resist. But the Dwellers from below, man, that did some heavy-duty damage, guys. So we're going to pull in the back here and get these guys collapsing on the back. And the Fey Enchantress, honestly, we should be able to kind of just polish her off now. So, oh yeah, she does not want to be fighting the Soul Crusher. And that's going to be all she wrote. So that rear charge, the Dwellers from below did some good damage, though, for sure. Brutes of the Hound did well in the front line. My armor-piercing troops dealt with those foot squires pretty efficiently. You can see they, 59 here and 37 on the foot squires, so that's good. Soul Crusher actually wasn't bad. Like, it really kind of, forced my opponent to, like, do a tactical retreat when he was coming in against his cav. And then from there, I was able to Frostbite and just snare him down and drag him into the mud, so that was awesome. And yeah, the Fey Enchantress, the Mist of the Lady, is only active when she's in melee. So you can see my opponent, like, had to pull into melee, and from there I was able to just really smack her down with the Mammoths and Throg and all that, so... Yeah, guys, we'll make this a double cast. I want to get a Greenskins versus Norsca game. So pretty much all of these games, I'm going to be locking Greenskins first and trying to bait in Norsca. I have a build that I think works. It's pretty good. It uses a lot of Goblin Archers and everything, and because Goblin Archers are one of those units that's like it's like a density thing. You just get so much fire pressure on something that eventually it'll go down, and you're not looking to them for armor piercing. It's like that one damage adds up when there's that many goblins firing at you. So yeah, guys, we'll see how it goes. But Throg is definitely solid in that matchup. You saw that Fire Arrows were doing some good work against Mammoth. Granted, I think Fire Arrows have pretty low armor piercing, but we're facing off against Black Ops. So we'll see who he wants to play. I'm gonna, if he switches to someone other than Norsca, I might switch factions just to show you guys new regiments for now, or maybe play the Beastmen. So I do want to try and get Norsca versus Greenskins, because people, Norsca's been out a few days and people aren't insta-locking Norsca anymore. It's a little bit different. So, okay, so he's gonna play those guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to the Beastmen. So Beastmen, we're going to get some of the new regiments. So let's get this guy. We're gonna get Morker the Shadow Gave. He's gonna be nice and ready to go. And Death did get nerfed pretty hard, guys. So Shadows isn't bad. Beasts is gonna give us a Manticore. And you know what? Let's go here. Let's try it. I don't use this terribly often. So we're gonna get Devolve. And we're going to get the Savage Dominion, which should be fine. I mean, honestly, those two abilities are pretty good against the Wood Elf. So, in the front line, we're going to get some Gore Herds. Gore Herds are obviously still a very, very effective pick. Good weapon strength, good melee attack for their cost. They do have that Primal Fury, so they get the speed. They're immune to Psychology while they are frenzied. So, and the Blackhorns Ravagers. So these guys have Rowdy, so they're immune to Vigor when their leadership. Oh, so if their leadership's wavering, that kind of fails off. So that might not be bad. It just seems a little bit clunky, but. Let's try it out. Let's experiment with some of these new units. So then we're going to get 2 Besticores just to have armor piercing. And Korok's Man Rippers are so good. These guys, let's actually just get one. The Korok's Man Rippers are great against Treekin. They have anti-large and AP, so it's a really good answer there. For our missiles, we're going to get some Ungor Raiders just to kind of pepper our opponents down. And the Eye of Morsleb. Morsleb? I know, like, you guys always tell me how to say that in the comments, and then I just forget. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. But we're going to get the Eye of Morsleb. The reason we do this is because he has Warp Gaze. Now, the Cygor might not seem good here, and it might not be good, but I think it's worth trying, because if my opponent comes in a little aggressively with one of his lords, we can Warp Gaze him down, and snaring is just such a good mechanic. It's so powerful. So let's get these guys, and what else do we want to get? Do we want to cut something? Cut an Ungor Raider. I really like the Harpies quite a bit. Harpies are so good for getting on the Wood Elf missiles, especially if they're in like a Doom box or something. You know, let's cut the Ungor Raiders. I don't know how useful those are going to be. So, and these guys aren't bad. The Butchers of Kalkengard, yeah. They have regeneration, but nonetheless, fire arrows, glade guards, starfire shafts. It's just all bad. Sons of Goros. These guys have Guardian, so yeah, but this isn't that great. You know, against like the standard kind of you know, Wood Elf, you know, Kurnus riders and you know all that kind of good stuff. So, do we want to do it just to have the Guardian utility? That's kind of what I'm on the fence about. But if I get these guys, which is what I was more intuitively thinking, yeah, we'll show those guys off in another cast. We already have several of the regiments here, so yeah, good luck to my opponent. This is gonna be fun. Black Ops, here we go. I know you guys wanted to see Beastmen, so maybe we'll make it a triple cast. Depends on how long this game is. If it's real quick, we'll do another one for you. But oh man, sorry guys, I just woke up, still a little bit tired, getting my bearings in the world, just all out of breath and fatigued for no reason. It's great, good times. Lady Turin's outside. I think she's doing some yoga right now. But yeah, life's good. We're having a good time. But yeah, we're gonna get in there and you know, hopefully be able to take these bad boys out. But yeah, the Wood Elves got some great regiments renowned, and Mel Gibson is just a monster. Like, he's going to be able to chase down Morker pretty easily. So, and with that darn cloak, he's not even worth targeting. It's like you target him, like, just save him for last. If anything, maybe we'll warp gaze him and just kind of keep him locked down. I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys. I'm lost and confused. Help me. So, cool. So we're going to get the Koroks Man Rippers here. We're just going to wait and see where he goes with the tree cannon. How cool are these? Yeah, they look pretty badass. Yeah, for sure. What about these guys? How do they look? Oh, man, they got like, these are like horn bulls, kind of. The Black Horns Ravagers. I like that quite a bit. Cool. So we're going to get Morker kind of chilling here so he has some protection. And the Cygor, something else that's cool about the Cygor is this guy has a really good accuracy by Cygor standards. And all right, cool. So we'll get our caster here, and we need to get Morker and our Savage Dominion. So we're going to summon another Cygor just to, you know, have all these big bad monsters units. We'll put these guys grouped up here, and the Harpies can be, we can put one right here and one right here, just so we can pressure both sides. If he does have a Flying Lord, we're just going to kind of, you know, go after his missile units, and the Harpies do enough shock damage that even if you dive a group of, you know, Glade Guardians, or Glade Guards, excuse me, you're going to do enough damage to usually put them down and, like, you know, rout them off before you get counterplayed. So yeah, we'll see here. But yeah, these guys look really cool. I love the texturing, like the dark with the red Cornish hair. It's very, very neat. My army's bigger than his, so I'm expecting Treekin, the Firebark Elders, all that kind of good stuff are definitely very strong. But yeah, this guy's, yeah, I guess he looks pretty similar. I think he has like some different coloring, but nothing like terribly neat. Morker, same old. You know, he's just chilling. He's got his Spirit Essence of Chaos and Staff of Ruinous Corruption. He does need to be in melee for that Staff of Ruinous Corruption to do anything, though. All right. So my opponent here, let's put this in group 3. He does have the Firebark Elders, and let's go firing after some of his missiles. So the Beastmen missile units, or cav units, excuse me, trade pretty efficiently with the Wild Riders. It's a very even, like, just brute force trade, because they both are like relatively high DPS units against you know, low armor. But these are the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. Yeah, those guys will beat my cav down. But if I can get an engagement with some of these Harpies in the back, oh yeah, here it comes. Come on, show me the accuracy. Look at that. They actually made contact. Usually Cygors miss everything. So these are the Eternal Guards, and does he have the Wildwood Rangers? That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Those are War Dancers in the back, so we'll see. And of course he does have Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's the way to go now. So the Cygor's continuing to poke in there, doing some okay damage. And honestly, we should just move this thing up, and because we need it to be close to get that Warp Gaze on. That's very important. So where did his cav go? Did I just totally lose track of his cav? Anyways, we're coming up here now. So we're going to go ahead and get an engagement across the front line here and get these guys here. And we want to get the Koroks Man Rippers going after the Firebark Elders. That's going to be very important here. We'll get these guys here, and the Harpies. Let's make sure to just fly them overhead. And our mobile units, we can kind of pull around and try and meet those calves. So we do have the Warp Gaze coming up relatively soon. Morker, the Shadow Gave, of course, needs to be fighting. And we do have enough for another Cygor. So we're going to summon the Cygor, actually, like right by his missiles and just have it start, like, you know, stomping on those guys. So he's keeping these guys back in auxiliary. So what we want to do is force them into a fight here. Once we force them into a fight, we can, you know, we can kind of do our thing. Cool, so Mel Gibson, we can actually get the Cygor fighting on the Treekin. I think that's going to be strong. So he's going to take this cav fight. So we're going to do a rear charge and kind of smash them. And then with our other group, we're going to jump right on top of those guys. So Morker's getting in there. Everything seems to be going to code, relatively speaking. So that's the sandwich maneuver you do with the Harpies. It's really strong against pretty much everyone. So we summon another Cygor back here. It's going to get taken out relatively quick, but we can send it after the Spellsinger. And you can see Gibson's coming in, but he's a little bit late to the party, guys. So we'll pop this Apocalyptic Vision here. Just kind of keep working the Cygor on these Treekin. And we can honestly warp gaze. Yeah, we can warp gaze this guy, so he's going to be stunned. And then it's just going to allow the Cygor to just lay a royal smacking. Oh, did we just get mass terror routed there by Mel Gibson? Look at that power. He just runs in there. Just all the authority in the world. But regardless, that warp gaze is doing pretty good on his lord. So our guys should come back, or at least some of them should, I hope. And the frontline engagement seems to be going well. The Eye of Morsleb is continuing to work on the Treekin, and Morker should have a Staff of Ruinous Corruption coming up relatively shortly. But his caster, again, taking quite a bit of damage here. So let's pull these guys back in, get them on these troops here. And if Mel Gibson wants to chase into the, the far side of the map, I'm totally fine with that. So nothing terribly low right now, which is tough. And we actually do break his caster. So that Cygor, just the Mission Impossible tactics, doing very good for us. So our caster here is also in good shape. So let's go ahead and cast Devolve, and we can use that back here to hit pretty much all of those troops. So the Cygor is just going to kind of chase this guy down, make sure it stays off the battlefield. Harpy's coming back, and we do, of course, have our mobile unit. So we'll pull them back here. Cool. So we need to get a Staff of Ruinous Corruption right now. We're going to cast that right here, right on top of some of these guys. That's going to help out quite a bit, and we'll definitely break some of these Treekin. And the battle's looking pretty good. Balance of power is heavily in our favor, and we do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos, which we can use on these guys relatively shortly. But man, that Cygor did some good work. And let's actually have our that thing's actually shattered, so we can just pull our mobile units back here and do our business. And come on, guys, are they walking? Why are they walking? I told them to run. Anyways, Spirit Essence of Chaos. So we need to find a target right now. So we do have a target here with these Eternal Guards, which is going to be really rough for Big Papa Gibson over there. And our Cygor is getting taken out for the most part. We do have Warp Gaze coming up again in 27 seconds, and he's doing a good job kind of stomping the yard there. Let's get these troops up and around, and let's engage against his mobile units again, because they're back. We might as well. Cool. So Morker, the Firebark Elders are getting, slowly whittled down by the Koroks Man Rippers. We haven't had much routing going on, which is great. So our other Spirit Essence of Chaos, let's get them going after Mel Gibson. I think they have poison, do they? Yeah, they do have poison, so that's good. And we'll get these guys kind of chasing on these missiles over here. So you need to let's run them up and then shift them in. Great. So we do have another Devolve, so let's go ahead and pop that on the front line engagement here. Might as well just do what damage we can, what little he has left. And you can see most of his troops here are in pretty bad shape. So I'm excited to see the Koroks Man Rippers in action, different matchups. I feel like they're one of the more cool niche picks here. So we get that Devolve. The whole back line has pretty much been compromised, and man, I really liked this build. I felt like it had an answer to pretty much everything the Wood Elves brought to the table. And the Warp Gaze is just such a solid ability. So maybe is there even anything worth Warp Gazing right now? I don't think so. Let's just send it after here to go after Gibson. We'll just kind of keep polishing off this front line, and that should be all she wrote. So let's pull these guys back. We obviously don't want to be fighting against War Dancers or any of that other funny business. And yeah, we should be able to kind of stomp this guy out right here. So Harpy's online. Let's go ahead and send them after some missiles that are routing. You see they're wavering now, so they're actually back in action. We do have some of these melee units we'll send back to kind of help out with those War Dancers. And oh, look, Gibson's trying to run. No, you don't. Not today. Warp Gaze. So we're going to get that mean old Warp Gaze on him and kind of lock him down. And I love having that utility with the Beastmen. That's real nice. That's a real nice buff, guys. So let's run some of these guys back here. Everyone's engaging for the most part. Morker is in great shape. He's able to chase off the Firebark Elders and the Koroks Man Rippers here. Yeah, let's pull them back here to help out. So Orion does have that Cloak of Isha, so he's incredibly tanky. It's going to take a while to kill him. So we probably want to polish off everything else, and we do have some Cav coming back. So do we have any of them in here? Yeah, we do. So we can go and maybe finish off some of those missiles. So he's trying to get away with Gibson. He's faster than my Cygor, so he's going to be able to get away. Let's get some of these Poison Hounds kind of collapsing on him as well, or let's just go. Yeah, it looks like everything's shattering. So basically now we just have to just mass Zerg on top of his Lord, and we can devolve him and everything. But yeah, well played to my opponent. It was a fun match for sure. The mighty Black Ops, and the Eye of Morsleb is really solid. Its stats are quite strong. Like even in melee, it's a beast. You guys saw, like, I took a few boulder throws, but after that I just used it to kind of work down Treekin. Granted, that only really works if you're able to like compromise the missiles and everything. But yeah, you guys can see Gibson in here he's quite tanky. Like he's got that 44% ward save right now. He's putting up a good last stand, and he's not going to break. Yeah, it's probably honestly out healing most of the DPS that's coming in at him right now. You can see he's just ticking up, and down he goes. Looks like Morker is able to fell him. So yeah, very well played there. That was a fun one. So yeah, guys, let's see. How long has this been going? I think we could maybe squeeze one more in for you. Yeah, let's do our best. Let's make it a triple. All right, guys, now we're here with Game 3 in this live BattleCast series. So in this match, guys, we're going to be playing the Beastmen, and we are indeed facing off against the Empire. So my apologies for cutting directly to the game here. There was a little bit of a long load time, so I decided to just kind of spare you guys a couple of minutes there. So we are facing off against the Empire, who's decided to take up foothold over here on the far side. For our army, we do got some Gors in the front line. We got the Koroks Man Rippers, which are just great. They have anti-large, armor piercing. They can honestly fill the same roles like regular Bestigors with their extremely high melee defense of 47 and melee attack of 45, which is really darn high. We do have have Lord of the Wild again, so again, I want to see if that Secret Agent Cygor plus the Warp Gaze tactic works again. We do have the Sons of Goros over here. So the Sons of Goros are the Regiment of Renown for the Central Group with great weapons. They have Guardian, so if I needed to like protect Morker, I could pull them back. But more importantly, they're more heavily armored, so they'll trade better with like Reichsguard. Granted, it won't make much of a difference against like Demogryph Knights and things like that, but we'll see how it goes. Oh no, he has the Templehof Luminarch, and he does have a General of the Empire. He also has a bunch of guns, so definitely going to be some gooning going on for sure. So I think he's coming over here to meet us. It's hard to tell. So let's pull the Gorbel over here as well and see if he can, because Gorbel plus all these guys I think could win this engagement. I don't know if he knows I'm in here. I mean, they're all hidden right now, so hopefully I can kind of maintain the secrecy. Although the Gorbel's kind of giving it away right now. Let's see if he can run up through there. So my opponent is coming in here pretty hot and heavy, actually. We're just going to keep advancing our main force right now on some of these guns. Oh man, I think he doesn't know. So we're going to push in here and see if we can really just kind of hammer some of these guys. So we're going to charge in there, and we're going to pull the Warhounds up and around the back. And the Warhounds we're going to kind of send and go after some of these guns, which is going to be great. So you could see he's able to get some decent burst on our Eye of Morsleb up here with that. And the Hounds should be able to just tear apart some of these handgunners. So hopefully he wasn't expecting this. I'm not sure, but regardless, we do have these missile troops who are going to kind of chase these guys down. We'll send these guys after them as well. And it looks like he's going to be casting that net of Amnitok. So we're getting some great damage on his heroic units here. Sons of Goros are obviously very tanky, very durable. And let's just kind of advance our whole main force here. We do have the Warp Gaze. Oh man, not for long. So we're going to go ahead and lock this guy down with the Warp Gaze. So it's gazed right now. So we're going to kind of swarm on that thing and see if we can kill it. And we're able to, trap down his casters, or not his casters, but his Empire Captain and all those guys pretty efficiently. So the Warp Gaze, we probably should have waited a moment to use that, but let's get these guys here. The Koroks Man-Rippers need to be fighting on those Demogryph Knights as well. We'll get Morker fighting on them, and that should be fine. So we're going to get us around here for the most part, and unfortunately our Hounds are still broken off, but man, we really crushed these guys here. So we'll kind of stay on them to make sure we finish them and drive it home. You can see our Cygor just missing horribly, so we're going to put him in Group 3. And yeah, unfortunately the Warp Gaze wasn't the best. We kind of botched that a little bit, guys, but regardless, we got some great value from these guys who are shattered. So we're going to pull them up around the side, and we should be able to get on that thing, pretty shortly. So great. So the Demogryph Knights, where did they go? They actually did a bit of a tactical retreat. So we're going to get these guys here. These guys can go here, and these guys can go here. And you can see his gunners are a little bit kind of preoccupied. We're going to pull the Koroks Man-Rippers back. We'll get our missile units focusing on his missile units as well. So we do have this good pressure on the flank. Hopefully we can get our money's worth here. And I'm tempted to cast a fat Devolve here because my opponent just has such a big, juicy pocket of infantry. So I think we're going to do that. And our missile units are fighting the good fight. Oh, and the Demogryph Knights are actually still back here. So let's get them on the Koroks Man-Rippers. We'll get our Gorbel fighting there as well. Put them in Group 4, and yes, so now we're going to get that flank pressure. So we have all kinds of goodies coming in. So we're going to send these Hounds up to deal with that, and then our Cav are just going to basically ignore his Lord and just charge right in. So we do have a Morker fighting in there. We need to make sure he's actually engaged, and yeah, we really got into those infantry, which was nice. So right now we're just going to kind of do a bit of a tactical retreat, pull back, and then we're going to go up and around and see if we can get on top of his goodies back there. Because, in the meantime, like, the frontline fight's going to probably favor us with all our Gores and different things like that. We're able to kill most of his really expensive stuff, too, which is good. Not expensive stuff, excuse me. We're able to kill his Demogryph Knights in the back, which I guess are an expensive unit. So this Cygor is literally just facing the wrong way, so we're going to get him facing after the Swordsmen. We're going to come after here and see if we can shut down this Templehof Luminarch. So, and then we'll also pull the Sons of Goros and have them go after these handgunners. And I think we're going to get in there with some of those guys. It's hard to say. We do have this Arcane Conduit online, which is solid. The Poison Warhounds can hopefully get in there and just, as long as it's not firing, like, I'm totally content, guys. So we get the Chaos Spawn right here. Let's go ahead and send them after those handgunners, and these guys can focus the handgunners as well. So the frontline engagement seems to be going pretty well. Morker does have his Staff of Ruinous Corruption. We're going to pop that on some Spearmen over here. And these Poison Spawn, or not Poison Spawn, Chaos Spawn, whatever the hell they're called, are going to get in there and hopefully do some work. So the Eye of Morsleb's in good shape. He does have his Lord. So let me see if I can find his Lord anywhere. Looks like his Lord is back here. So honestly, I'm just going to save the Warp Gaze. Like, if he starts to kite or get really crazy in that respect, we're going to, we're going to do our thing. So we have the Chaos Spawn pushing in there. We're going to pull the last Chaos Spawn to just go after this big blob, and let's just pull these guys in right now. We'll get our Raiders up on the high ground just to kind of shoot and poke over here, and right now we might be able to actually just goon his Lord. So we're going to pull our Lord in here. Let's get Morker and everyone kind of running in, and we're going to go ahead and pop the Warp Gaze here, because you can see he's probably going to panic and try and pull out here. That's what she said. And we're just going to finish off these handgunners. And it looks like that's going to be all she wrote for the Empire. So well played. It was fun. We got to see some Luminarch in action and all kinds of good stuff. So, yeah, Sons of Goros did well. I mean, you guys saw they were a little bit more durable and were able to rack up some decent kills. And that was just a wild fight all around. Like, it was just, there was stuff everywhere and just, people out of position and just madness and Templehofs and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, guys, thanks again for watching this live Battlecast series here. We definitely got more content coming soon. And hey, guys, thanks again for watching.